from windows, small interior room. If you're in Du Bois County, southwestern Du Bois, from Huntingburg to Holland, and up to Ireland and Jasper, same thing, away from windows and in the safest portion of your home. Those schools that I just mentioned probably doing their severe weather protocol right now as a result. These storms are part of a bigger system that is actually moving across central Indiana right now. We're sort of on the coattails of it, and therefore we don't have as strong a storm, say, as over toward Bloomington and Indianapolis, but we have enough energy available in the atmosphere and enough wind shear up there that some of these storms could rotate and produce tornadoes on very short notice. Other areas that are getting rain right now, which we desperately need, and some wind, would be Princeton, from about the Toyota plant down to Fort Branch. Again, this is not severe. There's no warning here in Gibson County. And then over toward Oakland City, Francisco, Somerville, basically right along Interstate 69. Then we kind of up the ante here. Stronger thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms over Pike County, central Pike County now, from Winslow all the way down to the southern county line there at Interstate 64. We're going to zoom in again on our trouble spot, which is right here in the extreme southern part of Pike County now, from Stendal back up to Pikeville and Hartwell. In that little triangle is where we had rotation showing earlier, and we have the best probability of a spin-up tornado, or at the very least some damaging winds coming down here towards Selvin eventually in Warwick County. Those are the current areas that are at the greatest risk right now for severe weather. So if I've said your town name, or if I've called out any landmarks that you know or schools, you need to be moving to your shelter now and staying there until we give you the all clear. Hopefully this warning will be let go early, but we can't guarantee that. And with the environment the way it is this afternoon, all bets are kind of off with how strong these storms can become. Yesterday we saw storms that really overperformed back to our north and created widespread wind damage. The bigger picture showing that, like I said, we're kind of on the coattails here of a line of storms that passed through Indianapolis and is now between about Seymour and Louisville there along Interstate 65. But back here in our corner of it, we have basically untapped energy in the atmosphere that these storms can draw on to produce severe weather. So that is always a concern, especially here the first week of school for a lot of people. You know, hopefully you have a plan so that if we have severe weather, you're supposed to pick up your kids or whatever, check with the school or check their website to see if there is a delay for any of those schools that would be in the zone. The zone again is southern Pike County. So we're talking about areas south of Winslow down to the county line at Stendal, and also southwestern Du Bois County, from Huntingburg to Holland here in the south, and then up to Jasper, Ireland, and on over toward Otwell. This would be Pike Central High School there near Otwell, not in a warning at this time, but Huntingburg Southridge High School definitely would be in a warning. The elementary school there, Jasper High School, also within that warning boundary, and also in Ferdinand you'd have Forest Park within that severe thunderstorm warning. The severe thunderstorm warning will go until 4:15, so 45 more minutes on that, 15 more minutes to go on our tornado warning in southern Pike County. We're going to check the velocity again here, and there's some rotation showing a little more prominently out here to the north now of Stendal. You see where that green and red are together. That would be more of a broad circulation, but still enough that we could see a spin-up tornado or some kind of wind damage out in that area. So we're going to watch that, and actually I want to loop it here. We'll see if it is getting stronger or weaker, and it is getting stronger or more organized as it clips down here into southwestern Du Bois County. So that's always a concern. I want to do a really deep dive here. We'll get close in on Stendal and that area. This will bring up some street names as well, or road names. And you see State Road 64 and Pikeville is about where that strongest rotation is. Then you get down toward Lockhart and Stendal. You got east or south Lakeshore Lane here to the east, and Zoar would be some landmarks for where we see that stronger rotation. And also, just while I've been talking here, we're also getting, let's do it this way, and we'll zoom out a notch here so you can get a bigger picture, because a new warning was added downstream. I think that's going to pick up more of Warwick County and also northern Spencer County. So now we've got Dale, that would be Heritage Hills. We've got over here at Tennyson, there's an elementary school there, in addition to the elementaries there at in Dale. That would be the David Turnham Center. All these schools possibly on severe weather protocol in their safe place. So that may interfere with the release time at school, again depending on what time they release and if there are any after-school activities. The rest of the tri-state, we're dealing with hazardous heat. Heat index values have been at 110 or greater in many locations where we don't have storms, and so that is going to be the ongoing concern all the way through Sunday across the tri-state, an upgraded risk for hazardous heat. We will go back now to the traditional radar picture here, reflectivity, and you see that line continuing to march down into northern Spencer County and northeastern Warwick County at this point. So that's going to come right across Interstate 64 between the Linville exit and the Dale exit there. I think it's 42 is Dale. I can't remember the number on the Linville exit. It would be State Road 61. But either way, there will be some potentially damaging winds coming down and across the highway there. So high profile vehicles like semis and that could get blown around or even blown over as that storm crosses the interstate. Another storm trying to get going here between New Boston and Tell City, and then along State Road 64 here all the way over into Fort Branch now, out toward Owensville. We have some pretty rough thunderstorms coming together, and those will also continue possibly to intensify as they move to the south at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. I'll do a new track here so we can kind of get an idea of when the lead edge of this severe thunderstorm will get into Warwick County and northern Spencer County. So at 35 miles per hour on the speed, that would reach Bethel Camp at 335, Hemingway at 336, Selvin 338, then Folsomville at 345, Tennyson at 350, Lincoln City at 352. Then just to the east of that, I wanted to do another track here because this will pick up Dale and some other spots. So that would get into Holland. There's Holland Elementary at 4:34. Again, this is local time. Huntingburg at 4:41, Dale in the central time zone at 3:44, and Lincoln City at 3:49. Holiday World would be within that too. Some storms moving in toward Holiday World. I didn't put lightning strikes on here. I can almost guarantee there are plenty of those within that system, and there are. So my guess is at Holiday World, probably everybody out of the water right now as that lightning continues to move down from the north. And a lot of lightning there on the line then around Selvin. And typically the lightning is a proxy for where we have the most storm motion, turbulence and such in these storms. But right now we're on with continuous coverage here for a tornado warning. We're going to stay with you until that tornado warning clears here at 3:45, and then we will continue to monitor the situation. Of course, we're coming into 14 News at 4, and we will have updates through the newscast as needed if we have any additional tornado warnings. But at this point, it's one small tornado warning there for southeastern Pike County, and then we have a tornado possible tag on that severe thunderstorm warning for northern Spencer County and northeastern Warwick County. So just to give you the wrap up here of what's going on, we have a severe thunderstorm watch For southwestern Indiana and portions of western Kentucky until 8 o'clock. That was issued in anticipation of the storms that we're looking at right now. I'm going to make a change here on the settings on the radar so we can see outflow boundaries, because a lot of times that can tell us where additional storms would likely fire up. And we're seeing at this stage, the outflow boundary is usually pretty close to the actual line itself. If there's a shelf cloud out there, that would be just about to Interstate 64 right now. And as these storms then begin to collapse or weaken, the outflow boundary will kick out farther away. And that's that cool gush of air that you feel when distant thunderstorms begin to collapse. But those same outflow boundaries can also trigger additional thunderstorms. So they are part of the mechanism that perpetuates these lines of storms. One more, we're going to pan back over here to where we need to be in southeastern Pike County right now, and still seeing that notch. And what I'm looking at when we look at the radar together here is for anything that is unusual along the line. If you don't have a solid line of precip, if you have little notches coming in, that tells us where the wind is actually being sucked in and where you would have rotation. And we're seeing that feature. It was more prominent there a couple scans ago. And remember, the radar updates about every 2 to 3 minutes. So we get a new scan of data, which then helps us to tell whether we're getting stronger or weaker, staying the same. And this storm over southeastern Pike County has strengthened. At least it was a little more organized there before. Now it has kind of backed off again. And that's real common too with the spin up type situation. Here at Huntingburg, we're showing winds off the surface there at about 40. And those are some of the strongest there. And again, I'm just randomly sampling here within the storms, but 40 to 45 seems to be about the wind speed that we're looking at aloft. It could be a little stronger or weaker on the ground, depending on how the storms are evolving out there. And that's something that we only know kind of after the fact. Do we have new information coming in here, Brian Sissel?
We're sending a crew to Winslow.
That what?
We're sending a crew to Winslow.
Gotcha.
For storm damage.
Okay.
In the Interceptor.
Okay. 14 News has the Interceptor dispatched to Winslow in Pike County, where we saw that tight rotation earlier, and possible damage. Is that what we're looking at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that update there from the news department. Of course, we got a newscast coming up here on 14 News at 4. We will have information regarding the storms from our crews in the field, and also, of course, I'll be here with that as well. The atmosphere is really not going to give us any breaks either. These storms are going to break the heat temporarily, but that's about all we can hope for, and get some rain out of them. But then after that, we will heat right back up. We are adding more moisture to the atmosphere, or to the ground, I should say, so it will become even more humid and more oppressive through Thursday and Friday. Our tornado warning here for radar indicated will continue here for about another 7 minutes for southeastern Pike County, and then we have the new severe thunderstorm warning, which includes Dale and northeastern Warwick County until 4:15. And a quick look here, we'll just give you the expiration times here on these warnings. First off, we have the tornado warning, about 6 more minutes to go on that. And then our severe thunderstorm warning, which is actually down here over over Spencer and Warwick counties, that will continue until 4:15. You know, not a long warning in either case, about 30 minutes each time, and that's about the lifespan of these storms as they move through. And they're going pretty quickly here for summer storms at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So, you know, if you're south of these, say you live in Boonville, for example, or Linville, more likely, Elberfeld, you're going to get some thunderstorms and strong winds, maybe 40 to 45 miles per hour as these storms cross Interstate 64. And within that line, there could be smaller areas of higher wind speeds. And that's always the tricky part in trying to interpret these on the radars, where that is happening. We can infer just from looking at this notch right in here that between Lockhart and Interstate 64, that would be near the Holland exit, that we would have our strongest winds just about to bear down and move across Interstate 64 heading to the south. The broader picture here, those storms in Illinois have really not done much more than when we started looking at those. We do have heavy rain across the southern half now of Gibson County from about Princeton or the Toyota plant down to Fort Branch, Hobstadt, and then over here toward Mackay, Somerville, basically along Highway 57 or State Road 57. Then farther east as you get into Barton Township there, Oakland City, and then into Pike County is where we had the strongest signature on the radar, which prompted that warning just about 25 minutes ago now. We did have an update now on that warning for Du Bois County. It's been redefined, and it now comes all the way over here, not quite to Birdseye, but definitely picks up, would be Ferdinand here to the north, and then to the south, St. Meinrad, Mariah Hill would be in there, Dale, Santa Claus, Lamar, all those places that I've mentioned, Buffaloville, Dale, Gentryville are all within that warning for severe weather. So we can anticipate some damaging winds potentially, and also heavy rainfall, at least for time being. We have Robinson Miles and Jamie Buchanan out here getting ready for 14 News at 4, and I think Rob has some new information for us. Go ahead, Rob.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Now, of course, when we do have severe weather like this, it oftentimes will stretch beyond our weather department and into the news department. Now, we have several people within our newsroom who received reports from people in Pike County saying that there has been severe damage within Pike County, specifically around Winslow. Now, we don't want to speak too specifically about those things until we do have it confirmed from officials. We have reached out to dispatchers, but at that time, they were so busy, they asked us to call back at a later time. They would confirm information for us later. So until we hear back from them, we do have a crew on their way right now to Pike County. Both a reporter and a photographer in the 14 News Interceptor are going there to get a closer look of exactly what's happened. So for now, we are still monitoring the situation, continuing to make calls, and we'll keep you updated as soon as we have confirmed information from officials within Pike County or any of these other affected areas. So, Jeff, what are you seeing now?
Okay, thanks, Rob, for that update. We are just kind of waiting here for this warning to clear, and hopefully we will not see an additional tornado warning south of that one. I wanted to look at the trend again here because that's the one thing that we need to monitor, whether that rotation is getting tighter or weaker. And in just looking at the overall radar pattern, you still see possibly some inflow or rotation here south of Spurgeon along State Road 61, and then if we look at the velocity, which is winds either toward or away from the radar, we're not seeing anything that's alarming within that box, and that's not surprising either. These things come and go, they're kind of transient. There is some stronger wind between Coe and Spurgeon here. That would be State Road 61. Wind speeds there at about 35 to 40 miles per hour, just based on what the radar is showing at the moment. But other than that, there is no other area that is drawing my attention at the moment. So we're going to stick here with Pike County and also Du Bois, northern Spencer, and northeastern Warwick County for a couple more minutes. Once that warning drops off, then we're going to go back to programming briefly until 14 News at 4 starts. I'll get the rest of the weather graphics together here to show you what's coming up here in the rest of the week and the weekend. Those of you watching, though, in southern Du Bois County right now, and especially in Pike County, stand by. Hopefully we will give you the all clear here in about another minute or so. And then if you're in Crisney, all the way up to Dale here along 231, and then back into the eastern part of Spencer County. So we're talking about Santa Claus, Lamar, all the way over to St. Meinrad, Mariah Hill, St. Croix would be up here too. You just need to be prepared for a strong thunderstorm to move in, possibly with damaging winds. As Rob told you a moment ago, we've had reports of significant damage in Winslow. We have a crew on the way there and hope to have some updates from them on 14 News a little later on this afternoon. Our tornado warning just cleared. We're going to turn it back to regular programming, and we will rejoin you here at 4 o'clock with 14 News unless we get another tornado warning before that time.